Welcome back to 7th ICSE Biology classes. So children, in our previous sessions up to now, we studied about the previous chapter, that is about the kingdom classification, right? So today we will start a new lesson, a new topic, that is photosynthesis, right? Now we will see many things around us, right? We will see many things around us. If I will ask what kind of the things you will see around us, what you will see around us? Yes, you will see so many things like plants, animals, right? Buildings, star, duster, pen, pencil, so many things, right? If I will ask you to categorize these things, how you will categorize or how you will classify these things? Yes, obviously we will classify these things as a living things and non-living things, right? So living things, what do you mean by the living things and non-living things? So living things are also called as a biotic things or a biotic factors. Why they are called as a biotic? Biotic, it is derived from the word called as bio, right? So bio in sense life, right? So how you will define the biotic things or the living things? These are the things which are having the life. Those are called as the living things or the biotic things, right? For example, like plants and animals, right? What do you mean by the non-living things? So non-living things, it means that they do not have the life. Those are called as the non-living things. So there are so many non-living things are there, like walls, building, right, pen, pencil, whatever the things which do not have the life are called as non-living things or the abiotic things. So remember, biotic and abiotic things, right? Now we will focus on the biotic things or on the living things. So what are the examples? Yes, examples are what? Plant and animals. Why we will say that these things are having the life? Yes, why we will say this? Why we will say this one as they are a living things? Yes, because these things they can grow, right? You will see the growth and the development, and you will see they are capable to reproduce, right? They can capable to reproduce. That's why we will say these things as the living things. So examples are plants and animals, right? Both are the living things. Now tell me, in the plants and the animals, is both are same? Is or any difference is there between them? Yes, obviously there is a difference between the plants and animals, even though both are the living things or the biotic things, but there is a difference between the plants and animals. Now tell me, what is the difference between the plants and animals? Yes, so you can say that plants cannot move from one place to other place, right? Whereas the animals can move from one place to other place, except few of the animals, right? So that we studied in our previous lesson in the kingdom classification. Which are the animals which cannot move from one place to the other place? What is the technical term or the biological term which is not moving from one place to another place? Yes, those are called as sedentary, non-motile. What are the example for the non-motile or the sedentary organisms? Yes, they comes under the phylum, yes, phylum Porifera, right? Example like Cycon, Euplectella, all. These are the organisms which are sedentary. They cannot move from one place to other place, right? But these are the some exception. But overall, when we consider the animals, so animals can move from one place to the other place, whereas the plants cannot move from one place to other place, right? What is the another big difference between the plants and animals? Yes, yes, you are right. What is that? Plants can prepare their own food, right? So plants can prepare their own food by the process of photosynthesis, whereas the animals, they cannot prepare their own food. For the food, they depends either upon the plants or the animals, right? So this is the major difference between the plants and animals. Now, tell me, plants, what do you call for the plants? As I said you, the plants, they can prepare their own food by the process of photosynthesis. What do you call for this one when they are preparing their own food? What is the term which is used? Yes, they are autotrophic. They are autotrophs, right? So what do you mean by the autotrophs? So autotrophs, it means that these can synthesize. They can prepare their own food. So those are called as autotrophs. What are autotrophs? So these can synthesize their own food. Those are called as autotrophs. So example, we know that plants, right? Now, the animals which cannot prepare their own food. For the food, they depends upon the other organisms or either on the plants or on the animals. Such animals or organisms are called as heterotrophs, right? What do you call heterotrophs, right? So what is the example? So the animals, right? So animals, they cannot synthesize their food. For the food, either they depends upon the plants or on the other animals. That's why they are called as heterotrophs. Right? Now, come to the autotrophs, that is plants. As children, you are aware of this one. Plants, they prepare their food by the process of photosynthesis. Right? So, what is photosynthesis? Right? So first, this term photosynthesis, it was coined by, or the term was given by the scientist. It was given by the scientist called Barnes, right? So this term or the photosynthesis was proposed by or was given by the scientist called as Barnes, right? Now, what is photosynthesis? So photosynthesis is a process, right? It is a process. It is a process by which the green plants, it is a process by which the green plants synthesize or prepare, right? Synthesize their own food. They synthesize their own food with the help of carbon dioxide, right? With the help of carbon dioxide, water and minerals in presence of, right? In presence of chlorophyll and sunlight. In presence of chlorophyll and sunlight. So this process is called as photosynthesis, right? So photosynthesis, it is derived by a Latin word, right? See, photosynthesis. So photo, it means that this word photo, it means that light, right? It means that light, and the synthesis, right? So synthesis, it means that to make. It is the photosynthesis, it is a Latin word. It is derived by the two words photo plus Photosynthesis. Photo, it means that light. Synthesis, it means that to make. So what is photosynthesis? It is a process by which the green plants prepare their own food with the help of carbon dioxide, water, minerals in presence of chlorophyll and sunlight is called as photosynthesis, right? And you know that what is chlorophyll? Tell me children, where you are familiar with the word chlorophyll, right? Where this chlorophyll is present? Yes, the chlorophyll is present in the leaf, right? And this pigment or the chlorophyll, it gives the green color to the leaf, right? Whereas sunlight is also one of the essential factor for the photosynthesis. Now let us see what are the raw materials. What are the raw materials for the photosynthesis as well as their sources. Raw materials and the sources for the photosynthesis. So by the definition only we will come to know what are the raw materials, right? And sources for the photosynthesis. Now just go back and see what is photosynthesis. What is that? It is a process by which the green plants prepare their own food with the help of what? The first one is what? With the help of carbon dioxide. So this is one of the raw material, right? So with the help of carbon dioxide, then water and minerals, right? Water and minerals, and in presence of chlorophyll, and sunlight, right? So these are the raw materials which are required for the photosynthesis. These two are the factors, right? These two are the necessary factors which are essential for the photosynthesis. What are the raw materials? Carbon dioxide, water and the minerals. Now see, this is a plant, right? What are these? These are the roots, okay? And this is the stem. These are the leaves of the plant, right? So something, this is a flower, okay? So roughly I will draw the diagram. So this is what? The plant. Now tell me, carbon dioxide. So from where the plants will take the carbon dioxide? This is important, right? So the raw material is carbon dioxide. So from where? What is the source of the carbon dioxide? From where they are getting the carbon dioxide? So plants, they get the carbon dioxide from the air, right? So they get the carbon dioxide from the air. As we know that air is a mixture of many gases, right? The composition of air, or the air consists of nitrogen, right? Oxygen, carbon dioxide and other noble gases, right? So air is mixture of many gases. So the plants, they take the carbon dioxide from the air, right? Now the second raw material is what? Water, right? So from where they are getting the water? They get the water, or they absorb the water from the soil, right? And which structure will help in the absorption of water? Yes, that is roots. So with the help of the roots, plant, they absorb the water from the soil, right? So from where they will get the water? They will get the water from the soil, right? See here, Keep this in your mind. Plants only capable to absorb the water from the soil. Just now I said, right? Now, if I will ask you one question, I will sprinkle the water on the plants, right? Many times you have been observed that you will sprinkle the water on the plants, right? What is the purpose of the sprinkling of the water? Is that water can be absorbed by the leaf when I am sprinkling the water on the leaves, right? Is the plant will capable to absorb the water, right? Or suppose think that there is a plant, okay, I am not giving the water to the soil, right? But at the same time I am keep on sprinkling the water on the leaves. Will that plant will survive? Will the plant will survive? If your answer is yes, then you are wrong, because the plants can absorb the water only from the soil, right? I am not supplying the water to the soil. If I am not supplying the water, or if the water is not in the soil in a sufficient amount, then the plants will dry and finally it will die. I told I am not supplying the water, but I am sprinkling the water on the leaves. See, when I am sprinkling the water on the leaves, plants cannot absorb the water by the leaf, right? Only plants can absorb the water by the roots from the soil, right? That's why plants absorb the water from the soil. Understood this one? Now, tell me, what is the purpose of sprinkling the water? Might we have seen in the garden, in the field also, that they are using the sprinkling irrigation, right? Sprinkling system. Why they sprinkle the water on the crops or on the plants? What is the reason behind this one? It is just to remove the insects or to remove the dust from the plants, because on the leaves the tiny structures are present which are called as the stomata, right? So due to the dust or any other particles, if the stomata will be blocked, then it will not help in the transpiration. That will be the reason, and sometimes the insect will be present on the leaves, right? So when you sprinkle the water, along with the force of that one, the water and the dust will be removed. That's why they sprinkle the water on the leaves. It is not to supply the water, okay, because plants can absorb the water only through the roots, right? So plants, they absorb the water from the soil through the roots. Now the minerals. So plants also absorbs the mineral from the soil. We know that in the soil there are minerals are present like nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, carbon, right, copper, zinc, molybdenum, like that many minerals are present in the plants, right? And these minerals are also essential for the plants. So water and the minerals will be absorbed by the plants through the roots from the soil, right? So these are the raw materials which are required for the photosynthesis. Now carbon dioxide, it is obtained from the air, right? Water and the minerals can be absorbed by the plant through the soil, right? So these are the raw materials. So plant absorb the water and the minerals from the soil and gives to the stem, and from the stem it will be reached to the leaf, right? So leaf, right? So they prepare the food. They prepare the food with the help of these raw materials in presence of chlorophyll and the light or a sunlight. So the food is prepared in the leaf. right? That's why we call the leaf as the kitchen house of the plant, right? Why we call the leaf as a kitchen house of the plant? Because the food is synthesized in the leaves with the help of carbon dioxide, water and minerals in presence of chlorophyll and the sunlight, right? That's why we call the leaf as a kitchen factory of the plant. Now, the food which is prepared in the leaf, right, is in the form of glucose, right? It is in the form of glucose. Now, see the equation for the photosynthesis. What will be the equation for the photosynthesis? So, see, carbon dioxide, carbon dioxide, because it is one of the raw material, right? Plus water. See, in presence of chlorophyll, in presence of chlorophyll and sunlight. So this is the arrow mark. So might be you know in the chemistry while we are writing the reactions, carbon dioxide plus water in presence of chlorophyll and the sunlight, the food is prepared and this food is called glucose, right? It is what? Glucose. Plus which gas is liberated during the photosynthesis? Yes, it is oxygen, right? It is what? Oxygen, right? I will write here one more time. Yes, so it forms the glucose plus oxygen. So this glucose, the food which is prepared is in the form of glucose, right? Now carbon dioxide, this is 6CO2 plus 12H2O. It gives the glucose C6H12O6, right? C6H12O6 plus 6O2 and oxygen is liberated, right? So when oxygen is liberated, what arrow mark you should write? Upward arrow mark. So upward arrow mark, it will indicate that this is a gas which is liberated during the photosynthesis plus 6H2O, right? So 6CO2 plus 12H2O. So here again you have to write carbon dioxide. So this is the balanced chemical equation for the photosynthesis. This is called as water, this is glucose and this is oxygen, right? So this is the equation for the photosynthesis. So you must know to write the balanced chemical equation for the photosynthesis. This is the equation for photosynthesis. So during the photosynthesis, the food which is prepared by the plants is in the form of glucose, right? And the extra glucose, how much glucose or energy is required, that will be utilized by the plant, and the remaining glucose or the excess glucose will be stored in the form of a starch. This is very important to know, right? So the extra glucose or the excess glucose will be stored in the form of starch. Please remember this one, right? What is that? The extra glucose will be stored in the form of starch by the plants. It is same as that of in the animals, right? We will also store our extra energy or the extra glucose in the form of glycogen, right? We will store the animals. The animal stores their extra glucose in the form of glycogen. As you know that children, when we remains hungry for a longer period or during the starvation, right? We need the energy to do our daily activities. Suppose if you will not have anything from the morning till the night, even though you will survive or you will capable to do your activities. What will be the reason behind this one? Because in our body the extra glucose will be stored in the form of glycogen. So whenever our body require the energy, when they need the energy, this glycogen will split into the glucose and fulfill the requirement of glucose, or fulfill the requirement of, or it provides the energy, right? In the same way, the plants also, whenever there is a scarcity of water or due to any ecological factors or due to any reason, if the plants will not get the proper amount of the water or the food, that's why they also store the food, or they also store the glucose, the excess glucose or the extra glucose in the form of starch, right? And whenever it is required, the starch will be converted into the glucose, right? So this is the equation for the photosynthesis. So children, up to now we studied what is photosynthesis, what are the raw materials, and what are the sources from where these raw materials are obtained, right? Now, about the chlorophyll, as I told you that chlorophyll and the sunlight are the two factors, right, which are essential for the photosynthesis, right? So chlorophyll, it is present in the leaves. It gives the green color to the leaf. And what is the significance of chlorophyll in the plant? So these chlorophyll, they trap the sunlight, or they absorb the sunlight and makes the sunlight for the plants to prepare the food, right? Actually, why the chlorophyll is essential? What is the function of the chlorophyll? So chlorophyll, this is a pigment, a green colored pigment which can absorb the sunlight, right? It absorbs the sunlight, and with the help of the sunlight, these plants can prepare the food, right? So this is the significance of the chlorophyll. Now, in our next session, so we will study some of the experiment which is related to the photosynthesis. But now just note down today's homework. So children, write down what is photosynthesis. What is photosynthesis? Write the raw materials. What are the raw materials and their sources? What are the raw materials and their sources? So this you have to write it in your homework book. Thank you, children.